All right, y'all. I am very excited to announce our very first advertisement and official sponsor of the Brews and Views podcast. This company here, I'm very excited to be a part of because they are two of my long time childhood friends that created this company, and the company is called Socket Shield. Socket Shield is a pattern outlet cover that has a sliding door with a lock that gives, for me, a sleek and easy way to lock out the shock for my little ones, and probably for my boy Kevin, the co-host of this wonderful show. He can just make every outlet in his helm look great. So if you want to protect your kids, improve the look for a look of every room, Socket Shield literally has you covered. And of course, as an official sponsor, they're hooking you up with a 15% off their website with the code BREW15. That's BREW15, BREW15. Simply go to their website, socketshield.usa.com. That's socketshieldusa.com, and enter the code, all caps, BREW15. Go check them out.
Welcome, everyone, to another illustrious episode of the Brews and Views podcast, Tales from the Sea and the City. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Jeff Williams, the Navy brethren himself.
Salute.
We've got a couple craft beers poured for us today, and we're going to sit down and have a little fireside chat with no fire. Only fine quality craft beer from around the country.
Good old FDR.
Well, Jiffy, before we get started on this week's adventures, you are drinking actual charcoal. So why don't you tell me exactly what in the hell it is you're drinking this week?
Well, it's what they used to put on roofs to put down.
Tar, yeah.
Yeah, it's tar. Yeah, so I'm drinking today a variety of different kind of beers that they have. This here variant is KBS. I think it's cinnamon. What is it? Cinnamon, vanilla, and cocoa. Which I love cinnamon. If you know me, cinnamon is my favorite type of stout, that's for sure. And this one here comes in at 12%, but I didn't realize this when I bought it. It's almost 3 years old.
Yeah, that's. I wonder how long that had been sitting on the shelf when we went and bought it.
I had to wipe the dust off before we came in. I haven't tried it yet, though. I'm gonna give it a little.
Yeah, go ahead and give it a little sip. So what I'm drinking is. It's from Against the Grain. I've talked a little bit about this brewery in the past of our previous episodes. From Louisville, Kentucky. A great brewery if you're ever over in the Louisville area. But before I get to talk about the beer I'm actually drinking, what's that charcoal taste like?
Pure pleasantry. Oh my gosh. You get like a subtle hint of vanilla, a lot of cinnamon. You get the barrel in there too. Because it is a bourbon barrel
aged as can be. So.
Yeah, you could definitely taste the alcohol. Like it burns a little bit in the back of the palate.
No.
Oh, it's a prime. It's so good.
I think that oil needs to be changed a long time ago.
This is used oil.
Yeah, it's 100% Castrol GTX. My God.
Oil pan aged, man.
It's been sitting there for a hot minute.
No, it's definitely spicy.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't tell me otherwise. You couldn't tell me that beer is not thick and spicy.
It's not as thick as you think it'd be, though. For a 12% beer, it's not like chewy.
That's 2 sips in. When we get to the end of the podcast, we'll see how you're feeling. So back to on the lighter fare things, the diet craft beer edition, as I like to call it.
You can see through the glass.
Barely, but it's doable. Against the Grain, Citra Ass Down. So Citra Ass Down by Against the Grain. Like I said, from Louisville, Kentucky. I've had the pleasure of going to this brewery a couple different times. Love the atmosphere. It's a good vibe if you're ever over in that vicinity. I'm going to read the description here because I forgot with Against the Grain's canning, they have some pretty good spot-on descriptions. If you will, so I'm going to read this off the can here.
Reminds me of episode 1 almost.
That's what I'm saying. To sit your ass down and crush this beer. This beer is not candy or mother's milk. It is not brewed by gypsies or aliens, nor does it carry any zombie dirt. This is a double IPA brewed with Citra hops. It's sticky, hoppy, and delicious. Simply drink it and enjoy it. Don't hoard this beer, Citra ass down, and drink it now. And don't mind if I do.
Don't shriek me, Gypsy. Stay far.
Yeah, I read that the first time. I said, "Oh boy, you know how this is gonna be."
Oh God, that's a good can looking though.
It is a very nice can. I like a lot of Against the Grain stuff.
I've never had it.
It's pretty top tier in the lines of they've got such a variety in the ways of stouts, porters, IPAs, some sours. Definitely, if you're going over there for the first time, get a flight. They usually have a very good selection on their draft.
Oh, it's in Louisville.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I said, if you were listening, the last 5 minutes of this podcast, it's just right down the road from us here in Evansville, in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, that 90%, includes the hearing as well.
It does. I got tinnitus. Constant ringing, buddy.
Damn near. So, it's a good story into how we even got these beers today. I think I'd like to start there and tell me how was your day, your morning been so far, Jiffy?
Well, morning started out
Early.
Okay, yeah, it was early. I woke up at 3 a.m. I've been working on my Traverse all day yesterday, changing the thermostat. My hands are ripped up. I don't know if you can see any of it or not, but anyways, I woke up, my wrist was throbbing real bad. That's definitely a sign of almost getting 30, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you ain't joking.
So I had to wake up at 4:15 because I was going turkey hunt with my father. And
Did you end up taking old Timmy out there with you today?
oh yeah, we had a good old time. Sat in the blind, right underneath the carport.
Well, hold on, carport. Where exactly were you at?
Well, Lizzie's backyard.
In an undisclosed
Yes,
location in the
yes.
vicinity of Evansville.
Exactly. So we got out there, and we're calling. It's early, so there's stuff in the trees or whatnot. And they like to locate gobble, basically trying to figure out where each other are at.
Yeah.
And once we heard that for a little
messenger
bit,
call, if you will, kind of,
Exactly.
hey, what's up?
yeah,
sort
a
of
little
situation.
messenger pigeon.
Yeah.
Gobble.
Unrolls the scroll. Gobble.
So we heard a lot of gobbles. They were calling back when we were hitting the hen call or whatnot. Never came in, never seen a single one though. There were probably about 6 or 7 out there gobbling at us, about 75 yards away, but they never came to us.
Didn't you say, was it a couple weeks or fairly recently that you'd went out there and had saw some, and that's kind of what it like?
No, it was the week before I went to Seattle. My sister-in-law, Lizzie, she sent me a picture. She walked out to her car, and there were 3 strutting toms just strutting all over the place like this. And
Me post chest day. At
exactly.
Yeah.
And like just walked out of the car there at the end of her driveway, and I was like, oh, I'll hunt in your backyard. And then came to fruition, but.
The late great Bob Barker says control the pet population. So
That's right.
there you go.
I didn't see any collars. I did see some long beards though, like 9.5, 10 inches. Good old stuff. Daughter shot one.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I
Yeah.
wondered if you were going to bring it up.
Yeah.
Old girl got one over the weekend.
Hard Tart Youth Weekend. Going out there, got it done with my father and my brother, and she was freaking pumped. Apparently, she did great out there too. Like my dad told me a story today. She was eating snacks, because it's morning time. She's hungry.
Yeah, you got to do something.
And my brother goes, "Hey, you gotta keep it down, whatever." Put it down, didn't touch the rest of the time.
F you, old man. I'm hungry.
Screw you, dude.
Scrabbles it up.
There's your hook. So
starts barking like a dog out there.
yeah, exactly. Which was funny because today, obviously we're close to train tracks.
Yeah.
And every time a train would come, this was after they flew down. We couldn't get them to, get the box call going.
Yeah.
Train goes by, horn goes. Woo! I'm like,
aha. There's the secret.
yes, I'm just gonna get a train horn out there. Maybe they'll come to it.
I mean, you would think.
Instead of decoys, just put like a little toy Thomas the Train thing.
Just line the train tracks around the woods there.
Exactly.
And start her up and then ring her on back.
Yeah, so that was fun. But back to how these beers got here. I'm on my way.
I almost didn't think that we were going to get these beers today, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, so like I said, we changed that thermostat last night.
Took you about how long?
I started at 10. Cody Sloan came over and helped out a lot, and we got everything in. We got in there, got everything done about 1-ish. I broke a solenoid off. So my dad came over, picked me up, and we went over to pick up that cylinder.
Good old Advance Auto Parts.
Yes, they're actually moving to AutoZone on this one. It's
Son
right
of a gun!
It's
Make
right
it
down the
mine.
road. Right down the. Well, Advance didn't have it in stock.
See?
Yeah. So went down to AutoZone and we picked that up. Got some antifreeze and a little bit quart of oil. You never don't hurt to have another quart of oil.
With you, that's not far
That's actually what
off.
I'm drinking today.
Yeah, that's a leftover. The bottle's just decoration.
Yeah, it's leftover.
Yeah.
So went back, put that antifreeze in there, and then I started hearing something trickle on the ground. I'm like, what the heck is that? And as soon as I
That's
saw
not
it,
right.
as soon as I saw it, I knew what it was. In between the where you put the thermostat at, there's like this metal bracket. You got to stick a gasket. When we put it in there, the gasket folded. I immediately knew what it was.
Yeah.
So I waited for Luke Combs to come over later on, the man himself,
Yes.
and me and him went to Advance Auto Part. I already had the part number down and everything. Came in and said, I need this.
See, that's how you gotta do it. Then you let old Timmy at freaking Advance Auto Parts, walk back in there and search the. He
Yeah,
don't know
exactly.
what the hell he's doing. But
No, he just looked for a part number.
yeah, he's got like a guide map. He's like, oh, it's this aisle.
Well,
this
I'll tell you
bin.
something funny. So when I went to AutoZone, the guy who grabbed the part, I like looked at it. I go, that box seems a little big. So I opened it up, and sure enough, wrong part. I could tell immediately. I was like, that's not right. And he looked at it. He goes, yeah, it's the wrong part number. Hey, dyslexic dummy, get over here. I was like, oh my gosh, that's customer service.
Yeah, I appreciate the honesty though.
Yeah. So we got that fixed and everything. Anyway, so got back. What time was this? About 6 o'clock, 6:30. Starts raining, and we're
Yes.
out there in the pouring rain. Zane, don't worry, your Craftsman tool set was in my garage behind me. I was walking back and forth so it wouldn't get wet. And
He was listening to it thinking, man, that motherfucker borrowed my tool sets.
Exactly, yeah. Don't worry, it's dry. So we got that everything back off and then back on everything, and I think we got done around 8 and took a test drive.
Why didn't I pull up in the garage and work on it?
And I got so much stuff in the garage right now.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, so I mean I could have, but it just would have took more time.
Sure, gotcha. Anyways,
So
good for a
anyways,
test drive.
got cut up, all that. Took test drive. Test drive went well. Not overheating anymore, thank God. What I thought. This morning, after waking up and going turkey hunting, I get a phone call from him saying, "Hey, we need to go to the liquor store." I was like, "Okay, I'll be over to your house. We'll go from there." So I come over.
En route to the studio.
En route to the studio, and I make a turn. Like I'm 2 turns away
Yeah.
from this guy's house, and my freaking car, as I'm about to make that turn, just shuts off. All power steering went out. Radio still cranked. I don't know what that was about. And I'm sitting here trying to,
Firmly grasp
it, white knuckling it. I get her turned, put her to the side of the road. I'm like, okay, I don't know what the heck happened here. So I try to start it again, and it sounds like the battery's dead, but radio's still going, window's still working, lock's still, everything's
It
working.
just wasn't clicking like it
Yeah.
normally should if it was a battery issue.
That's what I'm thinking. But now, like I talked to my wife, I told her like we had this issue before with the Traverse where she doesn't like gas stations. I don't know. But she like lets it go way down, like wives do, and she let it go down so far, but I guess our gas thing isn't right, and she thought she had more gas, and when she went out there to start it, it didn't start. So I'm assuming that's what happened today. We'll see.
Yes.
When I come back here later with all the hoodlums.
Well, we're going to provide a feedback on next week's episode because I know I am very curious to see what this is going to entail. If it's simply just you ran out of gas. Because we sat on the side of the road, a good 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Had the old white stallion plugged into the Traverse. And
Yeah, this close apart.
yeah, to no avail.
And then we grabbed this rope, this braided rope, hooked it up, and I'm sitting there. Car's just in neutral. The brakes are like trying to stick a cinder block through sand.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like that photo we had posted last week on our Instagram of the seesaw. This is kind of a seesaw, except with you seen, I saw. And we're driving down the road here to the Brews and Views studio, hoping to God to get a podcast recorded today.
God, I know we needed to.
I mean, I'm telling you, sometimes the Lord puts these road barriers in the way, and you just have to overcome them. That's the life lesson for the day.
Hey,
Sometimes
that's
you gotta
right.
drive down the ditch to get around them, but you can overcome them either way.
Overcome 'em. Strengthen our God.
there you go. So it kind of has me curious too, because you have a lot of luck in vehicles. Let me just drop this sidebar too. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, why in the hell is the Kobe Bryant jersey hung up behind me? Well, we, as we talked about in several podcasts before, are diehard Cardinals fans, lifelong. And when I checked the score of the Cardinals game last night and saw that we had lost 14-1 to the Arizona Diamondbacks that we just beat the night before.
The text message. Did I just get a notification that we're down 14-1 in the sixth inning?
Is that an ESPN glitch?
Yeah. Hey, good news is we held them to the end, 14-1.
Yes, praise God.
We're down 1-0 right now with Montgomery on the mound.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
even better. It's exactly what I wanted to hear. So in the midst of that too, it is also NBA playoff season. I'm a lifelong diehard NBA fan in general, so I had to change up the background of the Brews and Views video this week and put a little homage to the late great Kobe Bryant. Just because, again, I'd rather not think about the Cardinals today after that abysmal loss last night.
And as you see, we got the number 24, not
Yes.
the number 8, because number
The
20.
good guy.
Number 24 didn't do it.
Yeah.
Number 8 maybe.
Just like the OJ, neither here nor there.
Yeah, we're not here to make allegations.
Yeah, we're not here to say if the glove did or did not fit.
It was the latex underneath. Alright. See the documentary.
Listen, we've all seen the documentaries.
Oh,
that's another whole thing.
People versus OJ.
I mean, that's a classic.
Yeah. I didn't know my wife didn't. I mean, she's never seen it.
I mean, I can watch that now. Well, it just queued up again on my Netflix because, obviously he just passed away. The juice had expired.
Nothing says, let's remember this guy about the worst thing he's ever done, or allegedly ever done.
You're not wrong. Speaking and that kind of ties into what I wanted to talk about, get some of your thoughts on today as well, the infamous OJ chase. But then, speaking of that too, it leads me to think, and with your vehicle problems on top of that, so a little double entendre. Yeah, I'm going to stack it up for you, big dog. Tell me some of the vehicle. Now, I've had maybe a couple more than you have, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you buy them every year.
Every couple. And I'm just curious, what are some of the vehicles you've had in the past? Or some fun memories in the vehicles? I know there's a Jonah Day story somewhere here and there. And so I'm just curious, tell me a little bit about what you've owned or driven in the past.
So some of the stories, I don't know if the, what's that thing called when it's like you got to wait a certain amount of time.
Oh, yeah, statute of limitations.
I don't know if statute of limitations gone up on some of them.
So omit those.
We'll omit those, but I'll tell some good stories. So my first ever truck was a 1989 white Cheyenne. Beautiful.
Oh, a classic.
Bench seat on the front.
Obviously.
I mean, just one of them things there.
Mm-hmm.
Had a cassette radio, which I of course got the one that had a little wire in the end of it.
Yep, and you plugged it into the old iPod.
That's right. Yep.
Yes, sir.
You played your own tunes on there.
Children today don't know the struggle that we went through just to be able to select the music that we wanted to hear in the truck.
Came out. Yeah, LimeWire.
I owe my mother like 4 desktop computers with all the viruses that I put on there from freaking LimeWire. Nothing else, LimeWire only. Anyways, LimeWire only. Now, back to your old truck.
Good Christian man right here.
Amen.
So, yeah, that thing was great. I had it maybe for about like 8 months, and then my dad sold it because he got the Kia, so he was like, here, I'll give you my old S10. And the S10, man, that thing had, 2 seats up here, and then the old...
5-speed?
No, no 5-speed, unfortunately. He got 5-speed, though, that Kia. He still got it today.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's why I actually drove it today. I love that 5-speed. Anyways,
Running better than your Traverse right now.
that's very true. Very, very true. It's moving. So.
It starts.
So
Yeah, that's
what we did with the S10, because I was in high school at this time, obviously, and I would drive back and forth on 57 there to get to Wood. It's pretty straight, and
Memorial.
you can basically fall. Yeah.
Hoorah!
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
You can drive pretty straight through there. So what we did was I got me a new radio that had a DVD player in it that kind of came out like this.
Yes, I remember those. Like it'd be like a little slot, and the screen would just fold up.
Exactly,
Yep.
Yeah, so I got that, and I would watch Monty Python, the Holy Grail.
What is up with you and watching videos? I remember the old days back when you were headed up to old Crane. You freaking watched The Sopranos.
Yeah, I just put it up there.
Yeah.
That's when
Sir.
that's when the Traverse was working.
Yeah.
I drove that up there a lot.
That's true. You had a little propped up. It's still propped up to this day. The dash storage area you
don't
got
go
there.
down unless Jen's driving it.
Oh my god!
It's a perfect little spot to put your phone, dude.
Why?
You got
Why
the charger right there. You just plug it in. Sit
And
right
that,
there.
that explains why it's not running right there. You shut that thing, it'll start.
Oh, maybe we'll try it here in a bit.
You're not wrong.
Actually, let's go.
Commercial break.
No, come with us.
So, on the way on 57.
Yeah. So on the way to 57, I'd watch Holy Grail, which
A classic.
classic movie.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it, just take 2.5
Just
hours
stop
out of your
right
day.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. Pause this. Go watch just some clips on YouTube about it.
Mhm.
It's fantastic. I'm sure most of this audience has heard about it though. So watch that, and we would go to baseball practice and whatnot. And obviously,
That baseball field, I'll tell you what, I've sang a song or two about that.
Yeah, that's right. And me and a couple buddies, we'd pal up in there, and we just sit there and watch it. And oh man,
Good old sausage fest.
it's a good time. Real good time.
I do
right
not
there at the
doubt
end of the parking lot, right next to the water tower.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
yeah, not left field.
Touche. Left field was where other business got handled, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So one story that really sticks out to mind, and I guess it's a collection of stories. I used to drive, still, you've seen it before, it's old 2000 Ford Ranger XLT.
Yeah, that should have been mine.
Yes, you could sing a country song about that later. So, had this truck all through, got it gifted to me when I turned 16, drove the balls off that truck. It was one of those in the back where it didn't have a bench. It had the extended cab, but they had them little
That's
side
what the S10
seats.
had, like the co-pilot seat
Yep.
back there. Or
That
whatever it is.
little, the dwarf size seats.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're liable to kill some. There's no way that could be legal today.
Oh, no, I doubt it.
I mean,
You had a seatbelt.
you had the
I
seatbelt.
mean, it came across.
No, the one in the Ranger, it came like just over the
Oh,
belt.
the
yeah.
S10 was here. I remember sitting
Ooh.
back there. My mom and dad be sitting here. And
Yeah.
I'd just be back there playing on my Game Boy Advance.
One car wreck, you're done for. You're just bouncing between the
The
back
glass
of
and
the
the-
yeah, the real glass
Yeah.
and the back of the seat. You're just ping ponging it over here.
I'll tell you a story about that. I remember I was sitting back there and they were loading up the four-wheeler in the back, and they didn't realize that the grill of the four-wheeler was going to reach over the bed.
You had to open the window or wait.
No, it was a plain glass.
Oh, gotcha.
And I'm sitting back there, and next thing you know, crash! Glass is all over the top of me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, my dad was heated.
I bet he was.
Oh man, he goes, I'm stupid, gosh darn
He
it.
thinks the four-wheeler just throws it off the
Yeah,
middle of the
oh, dude.
truck.
Yeah, he was livid. It was hilarious.
I'm sure. What did
After
mom
the
think
fact.
about that?
I don't know. I never got that side of the story.
Listen, we're gonna have to ask Uncle
Investigate.
Karen. Yeah, about,
Yeah.
hey, remember the time?
Oh, she'd probably be like, oh yes.
I'll tell you what, I've never seen Tim this pissed before. He just
Yeah.
the glass was all over Jeff. I just didn't. We didn't know what to handle first.
Yeah. So-
Your mom is probably listening to this thinking, that's not really how it all happened at all.
No,
I
no.
think his memory is
This
free
is a
a
Bert
little bit.
Kreischer memory here. I got a cut all over my arms. I got that scar.
There was a little crack in the glass, but there was nothing on it.
Yeah.
You think he's embellishing it
He
slightly.
was fine.
Everyone in the truck was fine. God bless. So speaking of old trucks, and go back to my Ford Ranger, one memory that definitely sticks out to me for sure is, I guess they coincide together. But when I used to, my mom would get so annoyed at this. I would, like I said, the little fold-up seats, so like we'd keep them down, we'd keep them up. You know, we'd have that area for storage and groceries and whatever.
Please tell me you put a big old.
2 12. You know,
Yeah.
you already know.
Yep.
2 12-inch. The ones, if you remember, if your memory is good enough. You know, money little tight. A high school kid, you're trying to round up whatever. You know, if you get $100, that's a winning day.
It's a kicker right there.
Damn straight. So I got the old, I don't know what the brand was. It's failing me. I used to know all these like they're going out of style. They were the ones at Walmart and they lit up blue. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't think of what the brand is to save my life, but there were these 2 12s and they had it was black on the back border of it, and then in the front portion they were blue, like blue LED lights, and you could see in them and you could see the subs thumping. I had that shit loaded down.
It was 2 12s.
Yeah, they were 2 12s in there.
I had 1 12 JL.
Well, I had a low amp too, and these were, you know,
Oh.
these were shitty subs. Like it was no JL or what do you call it, Fosgate or any of those. Like none of the real good. Like they were. I mean, they really got their money's worth because it looked kind of neat. I remember I'd taken like some old algebra books because they like it had a little hump in the middle in that backseat. I took my old algebra books and just stuffed them underneath just to level it so it wasn't leaning.
Yeah.
And then anytime Mom would ever need to use the truck or whatever the case may be, she'd make me take them damn subs out. I became a master electrician because I'd run from the battery in that truck. I'd run the wiring all the way down.
All the way through the carpet.
Yep, all the way through the carpet underneath the plastic there. And then like I would disconnect the amp and like I'd have hot wires, so like I'd have to magician it to. It was bad, dude.
Oh my god.
There'd be sparks flying everywhere.
Disconnect from the battery first.
After the first couple times, I realized I should just disconnect the battery.
Why are these sparking? They should be cars off.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's a
power
live
on this,
wire.
right?
Yeah, but oh my god, it used to be so annoying having to take the whole system out, and it was.
You need to figure out how much to get that gasket fixed.
Yeah,
Because I'd still buy it off.
I know you would, and we need to.
We could arrange a price with the gasket being installed.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to sit down and
especially with that thing out there looking like it is.
Yeah, I think you might need to do a little moving and shaking, and we might have do a little business agreement on getting that truck over to your house. Because I mean that's really all it is, and when Mom just didn't want to sell it, you know, she doesn't want to sell a shit part, you know, a shit truck, and someone break down someone else. Like she's not like that. She's not gonna give you a bad deal. And that was a lot of her hesitation. I'm like, okay, how long is this gonna sit in the damn driveway? Like we gotta do something with it.
Just tell her to fix it. We'll arrange a price to where like I'll pay half of it.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I gotta get a new vehicle. Especially just for me to get back and forth from work.
I'll tell you what, man. Like I've talked about before, that truck would be a good time. And let me tell you how I know it would be a good time. Second story that I'm gonna tie into with the old Rangers, I would call that tan beauty. I'll only tell you what.
It's so pretty.
It's pristine in and of itself. I had a good buddy of mine back in high school, Blake Moore. Shout out to you, buddy. He used to have this field. It was probably 2 miles outside of town, right there off the main highway. So like the equivalent of, I mean, if you say, I mean. Just right there off of 57, essentially, you know, would be the comparison there. I mean, but there would be, like, it'd be his parents' house, and then, like, he had this big, probably couple acre field, right, you know, just across his driveway there. Yeah. And we turned that was the party spot. That was where no underage drinking took place.
No, everyone was 21 and older.
That's right.
Nobody was smoking.
It was
weed,
all legal.
No cigarettes if they were under 18.
Correct.
Chewing tobacco didn't
It was
exist at that
banned.
time.
It was just not a thing.
Yeah.
We were all saying kumbaya, etc., etc.
Drinking Pepsis and water.
That's right. So while we were drinking those Pepsis and water, he had constructed, thanks to a couple other buddies of ours that had a couple backhoes, we had made what we deemed to be named the Pit. So what it started was a little mud hole that had just been, you know, we kind of just dug out. Just from over time, people partying and stuff like that, and they'd park all in the same vicinity, like surrounding the bonfire. So like it just the ground right there just progressively got a little more worn, a little more.
Yeah.
Because of course, when you're leaving the party, you don't just do a Midwest goodbye,
Goodbye.
and then slowly creep out of
Yeah.
there. No, what you do is you start it up, rev the truck up about 7 or 8 times, and then just do a burnout
You
in
gotta
the
make
field out.
You gotta
Yeah,
make sure that carburetor.
a
is,
victory lap, if you will, and then
Yeah.
go ahead and scoot on out of
Let
there.
her freaking eat. You probably
So-
had like one of them wheels on your thing,
Oh,
like on a fork truck.
yeah, 100%, just whipping that
Yeah.
bad boy in there. So that's eventually like it started as a small little hole and just progressively got. He could correct me on this, but I want to say that it was every bit, I don't know, probably 40 yards long. I mean, it was a solid. Yeah, it's probably about just shy of half a
It sounds
foot
like a good
long.
bonfire distance.
Yeah, it was pretty top tier, and so everyone's truck would go through
Yeah.
there. My buddy Micah took his old Chevy Impala through there, just nosedive that car in there. That car,
Steering
What-
wheel in the chest.
yeah,
Oh, good.
and when we did it too, of course, like he would load that. There'd be 5 deep in that
Yeah.
Impala, just burying that thing in there. I mean, we all took our trucks through there. It doesn't matter if you had 4-wheel drive or not. I remember we had a buddy. It got so bad one day that one of my buddies drove like a big Chevy 2500 HD. He got stuck. We had to go and get his tractor to pull it out because no
Oh,
one else
yeah.
could pull it out. So I mean that.
You go to tractor pull outs. That's when
That's-
you're having a
that's
good time.
deep.
That's
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
having a good time.
That was deep. So I mean, you know, my mom still doesn't know this day all the chaos that consumed in that
Oh,
truck.
my
And-
mom don't know a lot about my stuff either.
I mean-
I'll tell you a story. Jonah Day, Cody Sloan, and I think Tyler Williams was in the car as well.
What a crew right
Yeah,
there.
I tell
God
you what,
bless.
the Gibson County crew
Yeah,
right there.
well, Gibson's finest right there. I tell you what.
And we're driving down 57. It snowed that night, so no one's
Nice.
cleared the road or whatnot. And Jonah's like, "Yeah, want to see if we can do a 360 down 57?"
Of course.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
Say less.
we're right there in Somerville. We just come over the hill, just and we're sliding. We're
No
bringing it
warning,
back
just
in.
woo!
Yeah, and I think he freaked out a little bit because he took that thing back down and tried to whip it around.
He's trying to correct now.
Yeah, and we got turned this way, then turned back this way. We ended up like right.
You're the 2-lane on 57?
Yeah. And we're this far from the yellow sign that sits there
Oh my
where Bill Atkins
God.
used to live. And we're like, oh, let's not do that again, stuff like that. We pushed it out real quick. We're out coon hunting anyway.
Of course.
Probably shot a cat or something that night.
God, boy. It was someone's fucking Mr. Kitten or something like that. She's out there looking the next day and the cat's just dead out in the field.
This is probably, I'm not going to say who did it, but so one of the Gibson County crew, we're out doing our thing and we're shining,
Yeah.
And I think it's that same snowy night. And it's probably like 8 degrees outside. It's freaking cold.
Sure.
And I couldn't tell you exactly where we're at for legality reasons. And it's woods, and he's shining, and we see some eyes. And we're like, what is that?
I think we've driven back in the area.
I'm sure we
if I'm not
have.
mistaken.
I'm sure we have. It was the coon block.
Yeah.
And he told me, I don't care. And I was like, it looks like a coyote or something, He's like, oh, if it's a coyote, it'd be illegal, blah, blah, blah. And he fires a 22 round, and he said, I aimed right between the eyes, and like I was like, oh, you missed, blah, blah, blah.
You kept spot on?
Yeah, you can only see the eyes.
Ah.
You can only see the eyes.
You're
So-
really a wing and a prayer.
Yeah, I said, we'll come back here in a second. We'll check it out, because we had a bridge here, and then we knew where it was going to be at.
Yeah.
So we drive around, come back an hour later, and we're walking, and I'm like, I think it's about like here. And then I look up with my cell phone light. I just see this tiny little doe, like this big.
My God.
Just dropped her right
Just
where.
right there.
Yeah. So my mind goes into immediate, hunter mode. So I'm like, all right, I don't care who's coming, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we drive this deer aside of the road.
Oh my God, that reminds me of the Office scene where Dwight pulls out his knife.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, pulls out his knife.
I go back in there, dude. I'm like, somebody give me a knife.
Yeah.
And I just,
Let's go. It's still good. It's cold. We're
yeah,
fine.
like, aren't your sleeves gonna be dirty? I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
Take this shirt off. I was sitting out there, 8 degrees.
We can save this.
Yeah.
This is still good meat.
So we did all that, and then we threw it in the trunk, and then we went over to Axel. Not Axel. Someone else's.
Name omitted.
Yes, name omitted. You know. And yeah, we cleaned this deer out. We all shared it and everything else.
Did you say you take it to get processed? You guys go individual times and go and get it processed? What do you do with it?
We processed it that night.
Oh, you process it
Yeah.
at the undisclosed
Yeah,
location.
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
It's coming together.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good times. I've been on that coon block there. I'll tell you a little story. It was me and another guy, Tyler Stickman. I'll tell you, Tyler Stickman, and we're out there shining and whatnot. We see one, so we go up to the tree and shoot it. It falls down, and it's rained hard all week, so it falls down in a water like this much, and it's trying to swim away. I got this mag light here, and I'm chasing it through this water, and that thing turns back, freaking tries to scratch at me, and I just go, nope. Boom!
Not today! Bam!
Just smoked it, and then wait for the bubbles to stop. It was a bad time. I mean, it was a good time back then. Looking back now, maybe a little screwed up, but
Listen, I mean, and I think I told you this story too, is way back when they were down, I don't know, I was probably 17, 18, give or take, if that. And a buddy of mine, shout out Joey Stover, had a nice big Yukon out there.
ooh,
We had
yeah.
a couple of them, but I think three or four of us guys, and we had a couple females in the Yukon. We would go around and just do-
Friends, of course.
Yeah, of course, nothing
Yeah.
debaucherous.
No,
happening.
no,
Yeah,
good,
nothing.
good Christian
Good
man.
Christian fun. Again, drinking some Pepsis and some waters.
That's right.
So we're down cruising at the river bottoms. We may or may not have had some firearms, toy water guns, if you will.
Yeah, with the orange caps on it.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
And, we happen to be doing some of those adventures that you mentioned too. So, down there at the river bottoms near, in the Wabash there, so just on the other side over in Monty,
Yeah.
Illinois, in that
Yeah.
area.
Pawnee, Indiana.
Exactly, Pawnee, Indiana. We're just cruising around, and we thought we, like yourself, seen some eyes, a couple sets of eyes, so we all, we're a couple Pepsis and waters deep at that point. A couple Pepsis and waters
A little
deep.
caffeinated.
Yeah,
I'm
a little
excited.
It wasn't no caffeine free, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So,
Pepsi Zeros
we,
here.
in Bear Grylls mode, at
Yep.
the snap of a finger, hop out. We've each got one of those toy water guns out, and we just start guns a-blazing.
Oh my god.
No, the spotlight was we angled we dove into the ditch, angled the Yukon out the field, and just, guns a-blazing.
I gotta be honest, I've done that before.
And the icing on the cake was when I hopped out, it's no stranger, I'm no master hunter, I've probably gone less than 10 times in my life.
Well, we're going this year.
Correct. And so when that happened, I'm not an expert marksman either, as you've seen my Call of Duty play. But
Tell you what.
I hopped out, had this nice big,
I'll let it go.
had this nice big water gun, if you will, wink, wink. I was in the back seat. My buddy Joey is driving. I hop out and just start going guns a-blazing. I missed his head by maybe about a foot and a half, because he was like, I felt like just God whispering in my ear.
I
as
thought you were talking about
drove.
the freaking eyes. I didn't really talking about a person.
No.
You got took down a dude.
No, yeah. Again.
KD ratio in real life is better
Yeah,
than the one on Call of Duty.
it was about to be real high. Just like that jail sentence I would have got. But thank God that that definitely didn't take place. But that was one that, you talk about that.
Oh my god.
That little incident with the whole processing and all that jazz. That's one that brings to mind of, just pulling out in the field, spotlight, and
So
taking her off.
it's funny you bring basically a drive-by. We have done drive-bys in the Camry before. Jonah would be
Yes. Oh
Jonah
my
would be
God.
driving, and we'd be we'd drive by Cody's field as he's sitting here, and there'd be deer out there, and we would have those windows down, and we got 10-22 Rugers, and we'd let 20 rounds go at
He's
them deer.
I'm sure it's slow piss. Because that's his hunting ground,
That's
too.
his hunting
Oh,
ground,
my
yeah.
God. I'm scouting this. What are we doing?
I'm hunting here this morning, not tomorrow.
Go ahead and take your blinds down. You won't be needing those.
Yeah, go to Bartley's or something, you'll be alright. Yeah,
Oh, my Lord.
it was funny because with 1022 Ruger, it's an automatic ejection, and I'm sitting right behind Jonah, so obviously it's going to
They're
eject.
just flying, yeah.
It's ejected this way, and Jonah got so many hot shells in the back
Oh,
of
my
his shirt.
God,
I don't know
sure.
how he held the wheel right here. Oh, it's like, stop!
Hot.
Exactly. Oh, man. God, that's some good stories.
Hate it, though.
That's some good. I got some really good ones too.
That we obviously, for
Yeah.
all legal purposes, cannot
legality.
disclose. But you know, you have a good bonfire, you have some good beer. That's when them stories come. I mean, I know anytime I hang out with you guys, some of those stories come out. I'm just like, man, that takes me back good old high school days. Like,
the thing is, I wish we could do them again, but we got a little smarter now, and it's like,
just a little bit. I mean,
it's not worth it. at this point.
It's not for several different reasons, but then also too, you use a little bit more of your head. I mean, back in the day when we did all this shit, 10, 15 years ago, we were just young, dumb high school kids and such. And, we threw caution to the wind, as they say.
Yeah.
So it's now you start to think with your head a little bit more and not with other places. And you be a little bit more logistic in your approach.
That's kind of how I think about it too. Like, I don't like trespassing. I always make sure to text the landowner if, deer.
It's all legal, yeah.
Make sure everything's good. Just because there's so many people out there now with these new rules, they just immediately call DNR officer. They don't come confront you like they used to. Say, hey, what are you doing out here?
Yeah, who do you know? What's your reason for out here?
And they're automatically thinking you're rather hunting out there or you're making meth.
Correct.
So.
And in most cases, depending on where you're at, you're not far off.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would
seriously.
agree. Yeah.
I mean, do you think about how many meth labs and stuff get busted in this area? It's
Wood Memorial High School.
yeehaw.
Yeehaw, baby.
God bless.
Look it up on Google.
Oh, all right then. So your wife doesn't get mad for you knocking down the high school for the 8th time in this podcast.
Hey, I love Wood Memorial, man. I had a good time. I was there.
You talk about it fondly. That is true.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like it, but me, I had a
Well,
good
I think the only
experience.
people that don't like it are like the other schools in Gibson County.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
For
But it's the
instance,
same.
Gibson, so-
But it's the same thing. Like if you were at Oakland City, like Wood Memorial, you would never want to go transfer to Princeton.
Sure.
But you would go to Gibson Southern. But I mean, it was Gibson Southern was the top tier one, and then we were probably the lowest just because of the money we had.
Yeah.
And then Princeton was second tier, but nobody wanted to go to Princeton.
I see.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
The more you know about the Gibson County.
Yeah,
Hierarchy.
exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of different things that go into it, though. But we had good leadership there, good superintendent, Mike Brewster. My man.
Did you not? That's not the fellow that you ran into when you were golfing a couple weeks ago, was it? No.
No. When?
I feel like you ran into someone when you were golfing out at Oakland City a couple weeks ago from the school.
Oh, I'm sure I did. I was at that scramble.
Oh,
I saw a crap ton of people out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, the whole town comes in.
You're like, that's the annual.
Yeah,
that's
golf
the
scramble.
celebration.
I mean, I see fans of this podcast, and
There you go.
Yeah, it's a good time.
That's right.
Beers are brewing.
Yeah, hey, you're not wrong on that. But as you're finishing your beer there, well, I thank you guys again for listening to another fantastic episode of the Brews and Views podcast. The IPA is drank. The charcoal is now gone. How are you feeling after drinking that whole snifter there?
Full.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
That's our Mexican too.
Yeah, that's kind of a double entendre.
It's a heavy
Yeah.
one,
That
I didn't
is-
only have a taco salad. Obviously chips and salsa, but only had a taco salad. Didn't eat the shell.
Look at you taking a little bit lighter today. A little light meal.
Light
A
meal.
little light meal before golfing.
Yeah, right. I'm not going golfing today. I go pick up my kids.
Yeah, I was talking in reference to the time that we all went out golfing and we went and had Gerst House right before.
Oh,
So I'm gonna get
wait.
something light before.
Yeah,
healthy.
half rack of ribs.
I can't go to Gerst and not get the ribs, man. But that's a story for another day. Again, Thank you all for tuning into another episode of the Brews and Views podcast, whether you're watching us on YouTube, listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts,
Or catching a clip on TikTok.
or catching a clip on TikTok. Be sure to follow us on all our social media handles: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, the Brews and Views Pod, the Brews and Views Pod, just like it sounds. Instagram, TikTok, and now YouTube. It's good to be back here in the studio with you, my friend. And
It's always a pleasure.
anything else before we sign off for today and continue on with the rest of our afternoon?
Yeah, if you're going hunting, if you have a spotlight and a gun in the same car, don't do that. Yeah.
Word to the wise.
Word to the wise. I got a couple buddies that did that, and nothing happened of it, but they did have to go to court and stuff. Just try to keep those two things separate, you know. And
That's good advice.
That's
And
good advice.
make sure that people take heed to that.
and
as well.
also knives over 6 inches with a spotlight, but I don't know why, but
You might have to do some research on that one.
yeah, I don't. It's weird. You can carry a pocket knife, but you can't carry like a gutting knife. Basically,
I'm telling you.
it don't make any sense to me.
Well, that's it for us. One more piece of advice before we cheers off. If you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band.
Dang
Cheers,
straight.
brother.
Cheers.